is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet World, West Alabama. How are we doing today on a Tuesday? It's the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. Hope you and yours are doing well. We missed you yesterday, and I apologize. That's my own fault. We were caught up on a travel day after the bye week, trying to get back for Alabama football coaches yesterday, which we did. We were in the room yesterday as Kayla DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, and Kane Womack were talking about this week's Alabama-Georgia matchup. So we're going to get into that on the show today. But we want to first start off by apologizing for missing you yesterday. We'll be back on the next 4 days and back on our normal schedule through the rest of the fall. I don't foresee any off days ahead, but we're gonna have a lot of fun here on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com, on the Bama Central YouTube channel, Bama Central Facebook page. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify. You can find the show wherever you get your podcast, the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. We're live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios this morning with our friend Mason Woods. Call Derek for all of your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. You can call and see how much money he can save you on your home insurance, your life insurance, your auto insurance, renters, boaters, really everything in the insurance realm. Derek Daniel will take care of you. Just call him today at 205-758-3391. We're live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. You can find us off of McFarland Boulevard, just past the Tiger Rock on the left, with our friend Mason Woods. Follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. You can follow him for all of the recruiting updates for Alabama, for Vanderbilt, for Boston College, for Missouri. Alabama making some not some moves yet, but we're waiting on the next recruiting move. We're really looking at basketball as kind of the move on the recruiting front. But Mason Woods is going to be putting out a recruiting tracker today for the football team.
Should be putting out the commit performance tracker today. Another big time. The only one I've really gotten a chance to look at yet is Jet Tamala, who once again threw for 6 touchdowns this week. His second game in a row throwing for 6 touchdowns. I think he finished like 14 of 17 for 280 yards and 6 touchdowns. They put up 70 points for the second time in a row. Big time performance from Millard South out there in Oklahoma. Nebraska.
You're gonna make him the lead of that performance tracker.
He will definitely be getting a tweet today. I've already got it. I've already got the video cut up and everything. I did it last night. So some impressive throws. Look, we can sit here and talk about his level of competition. Might not necessarily matching up with how good he is, or what he's going to be facing in Alabama. And I would give you that point, sure. But the throws, good throws are good throws are good throws. Regardless of who you're throwing against, if you put the ball where it needs to be, you're putting the ball where it needs to be, and he is dropping it right in the bucket to these guys. So I'm impressed with Jet Tamala has done. I'm sure there's some other guys with some big time performances. I think EJ Crowell had another big time game, over 200 yards.
Did he get hurt? But then he's okay, but he's all right.
I did see something about that. I feel like I may remember maybe Friday night seeing a tweet and kind of pop across my feed about him exiting the game, but I want to say maybe he was okay.
Yeah.
Big time performances. I think Sedarian Morgan with another big time game. I think I know somebody on our beat was out there to watch. I can't remember who it was, but I saw the videos, coming across Twitter, big time touchdown catches and everything. So, excited about pretty much all of these guys for Alabama. This 2026 class is very strong, and they're still trying to grow it a little bit. I think there's a few guys maybe who are still interested in Alabama.
Once you finish it today, make sure I'm Slot, so I'll put it up, but I will follow up with all the recruits that have phone numbers that you write about. Now, great job, good game. See if we can get any follow-up interviews with any of the recruits that are out there.
Kamarian Johnson, that just you saying that right there reminded me. Another big game. He actually tagged me in the highlight clip that he put out on Twitter, so you can go check my Twitter. You can go check his Twitter. I retweeted it. It will be making its way into the tracker later. That guy's going to be a hoss. I mean, monster on defense. Like the way he moves around in the backfield, to be as big as he is, he just immediately sheds his blocker, and then it's like, diagnose the play, go make the play happen. Very, very impressed with what he does.
Well, we look forward to seeing this 2026 class make it to campus, as they're going to be very, very impactful, is what it seems like, based off some of the high school stuff that we see. So, yeah, look for that later today on BamaCentral.com, Alabama Crimson Tide on SI. What you can see right now on the main hole of Bama Central is what the return of Jam Miller and Tim Keenan means for Alabama. Kane Womack was not shy at all about saying that Tim Keenan was going to be back this week to play the Georgia Bulldogs. Katie asked him kind of if he's back, what does it mean? And he went ahead and said he's going to be back. He's been practicing.
I don't believe they were keeping Tim Keenan off the field for this game.
No, I don't either. And I think that they almost had to keep him off the field for the Wisconsin matchup, which, by the way, did you see Wisconsin this weekend?
Whew. Bad times up in Madison.
Not good.
Bad times.
Not good.
Man. I don't know what Luke Falk's contract looks like, but I'm sure not Fickle. Yeah, Luke Falk is the old quarterback from Washington State a few years ago. Luke Fickle, I don't know what that contract's looking like, but I'm sure they paid him a fairly pretty penny to pull him away from what was a really good job at Cincinnati, where he kind of just had it made there. That's tough scenes up in Madison.
Yeah, he's going to be a defense coordinator for Notre Dame next year.
You might be right. You might just be right.
So we'll see what happens this week. What I want to get into today is I want to talk about SEC permanent schedule, permanent opponents that came out yesterday morning. There's going to be a TV show. Chris Lowe spoiled ESPN's TV show tonight, which I think it's hilarious. Yeah, great job. So we'll talk about who Alabama got as its permanent opponents. I was pretty close with my guesses last week. Honestly, I mean, I nailed Alabama's trio, but I was pretty close across the board. Nailed Georgia's trio. So we'll talk about who the SEC gave everybody and how that's going to work for the next 4 years. We're going to talk about Bruce Pearl, his big decision yesterday. I guess we'll address the tweet that I made that ended up being inaccurate that all the Auburn fans are finding now, but I'm leaving it up because it's funny.
I'm not sure that it's inaccurate yet. I think we'll find out.
You're right. Well, he said he's not going to run for office.
Tommy Tuberville also said you'll have to drag me out in a pine box, and then the next day he was running for Senate. So.
Right. So we'll talk about that, but we will also talk about Alabama and Georgia. We've got some voicemails in the tank. We'll take your voicemails at 205-462-7340, extension 800. If you want to be a part of the show, we'd love to have your comments right there on the voicemail line, or you can just find us on these platforms, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, at Joe Gaither 6, at Bama Central. You can find us at MAWoods_. Leave us your comment, question, query, or complaint right there in any of those comment sections. So what do you want to start with Bruce Pearl? You want to start with the permanent opponents? Let's save Alabama and Georgia for last because that's the juiciest, the meatiest topic there. Let's go to these schedule stuff.
That's what I was going to say anyway, because I'm not happy.
Yeah, I know you're not. No LSU on that, but like we're still going to get LSU 2 of these 4 years.
I don't care. I want them every year. I don't care about Mississippi State. Who actually cares about Mississippi? The battle for Highway 80. That sounds like an FCS rivalry.
That's a made-up name.
Like that sounds like a fake rivalry. It's just nobody cares about this game. Nobody cared about this game when they were good, and they've almost never been good. It's just
108 meetings doesn't mean anything to you?
No. They've never been relevant.
Alabama on a 16-game winning streak against Mississippi State.
What's the win-loss there?
86, 18, and 3 ties.
Okay, people, this is not I saw so many Alabama fans being like, this is the truth. The teams that are 100 miles apart or 50 miles apart should play. Why does that matter? I don't care.
Only 89 games with LSU.
It's objectively a better game every year. It's a much bigger brand in college football to line yourself up against. It gives you more eyes on your team every year than they're going to get if they go to Starkville. I do not care about the Mississippi State Bulldogs. They take up zero space in my mind. Well, you know who does take up a large chunk of my mind? The LSU Tigers. And you know who takes up a large portion of the Alabama players' minds? The LSU Tigers. Ryan Fowler, guy that both of us used to work with, tweeted out this morning, and I think he put it pretty perfectly. I have to pull it up again here. I know I retweeted it. But basically outlining how the LSU game, that is the biggest rivalry in the Alabama locker room. Has been for 15, almost 20 years. A lot of people like to say it's Auburn. It's not. Most of these players are coming from all across the country. They don't care about the Auburn Tigers. They care about, hey, who's the biggest, baddest guy in the SEC that we're getting to go against? And it's been LSU most of those years. Now it's shifted into Georgia a little bit the last 5, 6, 7, 8, almost 10 years now. But it's been LSU. This is nothing but, well, we can't give Alabama 3 hard games.
That's all it is. That's exactly it. We're trying to balance the schedule.
Boo. Give me the hard games.
Give me the Jets. Give me the Falcons. Give me
Give
the
it to me.
Panthers. Give me the Bucks. We want them all.
Give me the Packers. They suck.
Ugh, they don't.
Lost to the Browns.
I did enjoy that. I definitely enjoyed that for sure, especially because Jordan Love threw a terrible interception late,
Man.
and they got that blocked field goal. It was a crumble.
I saw a clip from that game, and I don't know if it was a field mic, a ref mic, somebody was mic'd up.
Oh yeah,
or what.
no, the tackle.
Yes, but it was the tackle. Myles Garrett. I mean, ball is snapped. Myles Garrett is immediately past the tackle. I hardly even had to make a move on the guy. Just like swatted his hands out of the way, and he is barreling down onto Jordan Love, and you just hear the tackle yell, "Jordan, run!" And Myles Garrett comes off on the sideline. He's telling his buddy or telling his teammates about, man, that was good stuff. But yeah, no, give me those games. I want all the smoke.
I'm with you there. I mean, I am with you, but like, here's the deal. Okay, so look at it from LSU's perspective. If you're LSU, LSU got it right. They drew Ole Miss, they drew Texas A&M and Arkansas.
I like those.
And so,
I would have rather been Alabama than Arkansas. But.
You try to give the teams, you try to protect the main rivalries. Obviously,
Sure.
Alabama Auburn, Alabama Tennessee, Georgia Auburn, Georgia Florida. You try to protect these main rivalries. Tennessee Alabama, Tennessee gets the perfect trio because their 3 main rivals are all protected. Alabama, Kentucky, Vanderbilt. You look,
2 of them are, Vanderbilt's good.
Vanderbilt, yeah, powerhouse.
We'll see if they have staying power.
Powerhouse Vanderbilt. Texas gets A&M, gets Oklahoma, and gets Arkansas, so you get the Southwest Conference going.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Oklahoma. Oklahoma gets Missouri, Ole Miss, and Texas. So nobody really gets a break here, but it is kind of like 2 hard games and maybe an easier matchup.
Sure. I get it. I get why it happened.
Missouri,
I'm just disappointed that this is the game that we all have to feign excitement over now for the next 4 seasons.
The big narrative that I saw over the last 24 hours was, I feel so bad for Texas A&M. They got LSU, Texas, and Missouri, and it's like any way you throw 3 teams in a pot and spit them out, like you're gonna like Auburn. Do you feel bad for them? Alabama, Georgia, Vanderbilt, it doesn't like every 3-team combo is a little bit difficult in its own way. Depends on if you just look at it in a vacuum. You're like, oh, those are three tough teams.
I don't think that Missouri and Vanderbilt in their current states, are all that far apart from each other.
I'm with you. I think Missouri is a good little team.
I think they're both good little teams.
I think Vanderbilt's obviously tough. Respect them. I think Alabama's trap game against Missouri is looking more and more trappy as we get closer and closer to this game. 11 a.m. up there in Como. Eli Drinkwitz is going to have them boys ready to go to upset Alabama after they have beaten Georgia and Vanderbilt in back-to-back weeks. And they're, okay, it's due for a letdown. The road game against Missouri, Bo Pribula, Ahmad Hardy, bam, 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 right at the Alabama defense. And it's going to be a long morning. But I digress.
Tim Keenan 100% in that one.
Absolutely. I digress. So like all these trios, I think the SEC did it pretty well.
Yeah, they did a fine job. I'm just personally annoyed.
Mississippi State gets Alabama, Ole Miss, and Vanderbilt. Obviously, Ole Miss being their premier rivalry matchup, the Egg Bowl, which I love so much. I think Egg Bowl and Texas A&M might be 2 nastier rivalries than the Iron Bowl. May not be better rivalries,
I know what you're saying.
People always like, best rivalries in college football, Iron Bowl and Michigan, Ohio State.
Which maybe I'm just, I've not been up there. I haven't seen it in person.
Pageantry, blue bloods.
It just feels so.
Yes,
which is so fake and lame and manufactured.
That's the center
There's
of the college
nothing
football.
real about that rivalry. It's all manufactured. It's all for show.
11 a.m.
Those people don't hate each other. They're not fighting in the stands.
I think they do hate each other.
I've never seen one fight in the stands from a Michigan Ohio State game. I've seen the players fight. Players fight every week.
My freshman year at Alabama, I saw an Auburn guy in the student section talking a bunch of mess. Gets boom popped. And
That's what happens.
Rolled down the.
That's what happens where real football is played in the South. That's what happens here.
I thought, oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
Just rolling down the student section.
We do not do things for television. We play real ball in the South.
Luckily, he was not dead. But I was like,
you're not getting that level of passion up in the game. The game. You're not getting that level of passion there. You are getting that in the Egg Bowl. You are getting that in Texas A&M, Texas. I think you're getting in the Iron Bowl a bit now. I do think the Iron Bowl, just because of I don't know, the fan base of Alabama has maybe gotten a little complacent over the years. That's maybe lost a touch of its nastiness, but I think with how competitive Auburn has remained in that game, it's still kind of there. But yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I don't know that I can necessarily get on board with it, but I do. I'm with you a bit.
Like, it's been a long time since Harvey Updike poisoned some trees.
Yeah, it has.
And I think that if Texas and Texas A&M had a chance to
somebody's going to kill Bevo this year.
Right. It's inappropriate, but bomb the other's house, they would.
So, someone's going to turn Bevo into a nice steak.
Exactly. And same thing, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. It's just if they could figure out how to.
I could, those are games I could see devolving into just pure riots.
Yes.
Both meet at midfield, and it's like the rumble from the outsiders, and they're just scrapping at midfield.
Pitchforks, hammers, and torches.
Cowbells. You got an old woman beating a man with a cowbell. Yeah.
I love those games. So I'm glad they're protected.
Those do feel a little grittier.
I think that SEC largely did well. I mean, the biggest part that I like is the fact that they said it's just for 4 years.
I love that.
We'll reevaluate in 4 years. And then the other part that I love is the fact that we're going to take the other 12 games, no divisions, split them 6 and 6. You get one half for 2 years. You get the other half for the other 2 years. So if Billy, you stay in school for 4 years, you get your degree because we're student athletes, but you get your degree and you're in there for 4 years. You don't go to the NFL. You're going to go to every stadium in your conference.
That's good. That's how it should be. I think that everyone in that, like you said, plays for 4 years should get that opportunity to play at every stadium, and they should, be able to host as many people as they can.
I am surprised they didn't give them Alabama LSU, only because of the TV factor. Yeah, because the ratings for that game are usually off the chart. I mean, this year
it's better than they will be for Alabama Mississippi State.
Yes, this year the game is going to be at 6:30, 7:30. It's the evening window for the Alabama LSU game, and ABC. I'm surprised ABC didn't say no. We need that on our schedule all 4 years here. Now, obviously, it's the SEC. You can replace that game with something marquee. You can replace that game with, pick anything marquee, and people will watch it. But I do think that matchup has had an extra bit of
was there a
cachet?
Is there another game that potentially was used as a bargaining chip to get in order to allow, the SEC says, I know that you want Alabama LSU. We want to keep it more fair. We'll give you this game instead. I'm trying to look through these, and I don't really.
Right, you were always going to get Texas, Oklahoma. Exactly. You were always going to get Texas A&M. Florida, you were always going to get Florida, Georgia. These other two Florida rivalries, I'm not necessarily in love with, but they are classic, right? I mean, Florida, Kentucky has always been a big time game. Same with South Carolina to a degree.
I don't really see another one that's one that wasn't a given.
Right, it's like a national it's going to suck in all the attention here.
I mean, Ole Miss LSU is a good rivalry. It always has. I don't really.
It will be this week after Will Weeks and Landry. Is that her name?
That's right.
Landry Kiffin goes out, and I'm dating Will Weeks.
You see Lane Kiffin this morning tweeting out, she will be rooting hotty toddy, and then the little blood emoji. It runs in their blood over there.
He said, "Take the over. We gonna score some points on Will Weeks."
Love that.
Whit or Will Weeks.
I think there's Witt and Will Weeks. I don't know which one is which. I think there's 3 of them actually.
There are 3, but I don't know which one she's dating. Which one she's putting out the photos with.
I don't know. Is one of them? I haven't. I know they all get a fair amount of play. I think is one of them remarkably better than the other 2.
Yes, Witt. I think it's Witt. Right.
That's what I think. That's what I think as well. But I get them all so confused. I can never remember.
Yeah, it's Witt Weeks. Witt Weeks reveals relationship with Landry Kiffin. And he's supposed to be the bad Mama Jamma over there. He is, what is he this year? He's got 11 tackles this year with tackle for loss, half a sack this year. But on his career, last year he was pretty bad as in good. 125 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, and an interception as a sophomore. So he's a junior this year, leading those the LSU Tigers.
It is West Weeks, not Will Weeks. It is Whit Weeks, West Weeks, and Zach Weeks.
Come
Poor
on,
Zach.
We couldn't get a W
Come
name.
on, man. What'd Zach do?
He said, we're out of W names. We got to move to Z.
That's crazy. You better hope Zach's the best one of the three,
That's
because
right.
otherwise he's gonna have a complex.
That's right. And I wonder, honestly, this is all Lane Kiffin saying. Landry, put this out here. Put this out. Put this out this week.
I mean, he's known. Yeah, it's not like he hasn't known this has been going on. He is her father.
Distract their best player on defense this week. Let's create a bleep storm with their best player this week on defense.
Kiffin's probably sending her to Baton Rouge on the private jet so that they can hang out on weekends and things like.
I gotta watch film, Landry. No, you don't. We need to go get ice cream. We need to go to a movie. You need to take me shopping. Whatever the case may be. No, film's overrated. You're too good to watch film. Your dad's offense is really complicated. No, it's not. I'll tell you the secrets here.
This is very interesting because I do think it plays both ways a bit. Like, not that I think Landry Kiffin is super up to date on the ins and outs of the X's and O's of Ole Miss football, but I'm sure she knows some things just being in and around it. And I'm sure bits and pieces of that information are advantageous for Whit Weeks to know. But like you just pointed out, on that other measure, it's just as advantageous for maybe Lane Kiffin to tell his daughter potentially, hey, just distract him a little extra this week. Here's some money. Y'all go on some extra dates,
nachos,
spend some time outside of the facility.
What kind of foods can make you lethargic?
Tell you what, just bring him to Oxford. We'll show him a good time here, Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
She's gonna be like, well, Billy running back's foot's hurting, so and Johnny wide receiver, he can't really block. Dad's always complaining about Johnny wide receiver not being able to block.
Those little nuggets of information are useful. I don't know how much they actually affect any bit of game outcome, but they are useful.
Oh, look, I baked you cookies this week and brownies and
they're poison.
Yes, exactly. Oh man! So I think the SEC did a pretty good job getting the rivalries correct. I know a lot of my Georgia buddies were like, "Why did we get South Carolina and not Tennessee?" And you look at
it's kind of the same thing.
You look at the history, and the Georgia's played South Carolina like 78, 77 times, and Tennessee only like 50 something times, and Tennessee has to have their rivalries protected with Alabama, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky. It's just a hard puzzle to get all correct. Like LSU, you talk about wanting LSU, and you're right, we'd like them, but they get Ole Miss, Arkansas, and Texas A&M. They get their golden boot with Arkansas. They've always had the big game with Ole Miss, and then them and Texas A&M have always been kind of at each other's throats since Texas A&M came into the conference. So it's just a hard.
Boot is overrated.
Yes, it is.
That's another one that just feels like an FCS rivalry. And what are we doing, folks? This is the SEC.
Well,
I'm with you, though. LSU Texas A&M has a certain nastiness to it that has... Is it all dating back to that 8 overtime game? Is that what it all stems from?
And didn't... Now, Nussmeier didn't play it at Texas A&M, did he, for a year? No, it was... They had a quarterback that was there 2 quarterbacks ago who backed up Jaden Daniels, played at Texas A&M for a second.
Calzada, wasn't it? No.
Calzada went from A&M to Kentucky, A&M to like Texas Wesleyan to Kentucky or something.
Hang on.
It's okay. It's probably 2022 or so. They had a quarterback that was at A&M that moved to LSU or vice versa, one or the other. It doesn't even matter. That's an offshoot. But I think they did okay.
Max Johnson.
That's it. Max Johnson. You're right. Well done.
That was gonna hang over my head for the rest of the show until I figured it out.
Well,
they did a good job, though. I'm just upset that we don't get to play LSU every year. That game's electric. That is.
We'll give them 2 more years, and we'll have two off, and then that 3rd year when they come back, it's like, yes, we get them back on the schedule, and maybe by that point the SEC will make them one of the 3 opponents. They'll sub off Mississippi State. I mean, LSU.
That has to be the one that you sub out. You're not getting rid of Auburn or Tennessee.
You see a lot of Alabama fans that I don't want to play Auburn every year. Or at least I do on my social media machines. And I'm just like, what are you?
I disagree.
Why?
I would disagree with that.
Why?
I think you absolutely should play Auburn every year.
Exactly. I don't want to go down to the Cal College every other year. And I'm like, I mean, I understand that, but
that's just because you lose down there.
Right. Exactly. get some cojones, get some toughness about you, and let's go down to Auburn and play well. Oh man.
Speaking of Auburn,
Exactly. That's a perfect transition. Yesterday, the Auburn Tigers put themselves into the basically the forefront of the news of all of college athletics as Bruce Pearl announces his retirement from head coach on the first day of practice. Did they go into practice and he thought, man, this team's no good. Steven, go ahead. You got it, buddy.
did he lead practice that day? We think.
I have no idea. I doubt it. I doubt it. I bet you this was in the works for a long time. Obviously, They put together a very beautiful video. 14.
Did you watch it?
I watched the first 2 minutes of it and the last 30 seconds of it.
Yeah, I saw. I opened it, saw how long it was.
Right.
Immediately closed it.
Yeah. Well, I was about to go into an appointment, and so I was like waiting for my appointment to start. So that's how I saw the first 2 minutes. And then I saw the last little bit where he's like,
saw that
hey,
later.
Steven,
Yeah.
You're up.
Hey, son.
Right. And he passes off the basketball and he sits down and goes, War Eagle. And it's like, all right, great. It wasn't this always going to happen over there?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think anybody that was in the know kind of saw this coming. Now, I'll be honest. I threw this around, to my like Auburn buddies as like, haha, this is what you're gonna do. Like, I didn't really think they would actually it would be, here you go, buddy. Here's a head coaching job. Like, I thought that there would be a search and maybe, Stephen Pearl would just come out of the search and as the head coach. But I don't know. It seemingly was set up exactly so that Bruce could step down, like we just said, on the first day of practice and immediately hand it over to his son. I don't think there was ever going to be any bit of coaching search involved with this due to the timing of it. There's not any time for a coaching search. The season has started.
That's Bruce was on all of this is intentional.
Yeah.
I think that Bruce Pearl comes out like looking like an evil genius in this situation, and because he announces his retirement way too late in the process to have an actual coaching search. But not only that, but you're a month into school, month and a half into school. I think it started on like the 14th of August or so. So now we're at September 23. So you've gone a month and a week in school. And is it too late for players to transfer to go to other to just academically? I know that academics don't matter anymore, and we don't care about that because they're not real. Whatever. Are they student athletes? We'll see.
Yeah.
But are you too late? Have you been taking classes for 4 weeks and oh man, college X isn't going to take me because their semester's already started also, and they can't get me into school, and I won't be eligible, and maybe I can transfer, but I gotta wait until the spring semester starts because winter semester's already done.
I think it may be an issue for some guys. If you're good enough, they're gonna make it work.
Right.
If you're Todd Pettiford and you're wanting to come to Alabama, they'll make it work, buddy.
We got one spot, buddy.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. If you're good enough, they'll figure it out.
We got one scholarship open.
Now I do think if you're a bench guy who is, 7th, 8th man down there in the rotation, and you're kind of looking at this like, you might run into some issues there where you have to sit out for a bit because a team isn't gonna, go out of their way to get you eligible right now.
Are you ready for a backcourt of LeBaron Philon, Aiden Holloway, and Todd Pettiford?
That'd be something. Yeah,
because
Jalil Bethea going down, that one we didn't really get to talk about. That's tough.
We'll roll it right into that.
Yeah, it's just tough scenes. I hated to see that. Not really a whole lot I have other than that.
If
just
people missed it, if you missed it, Jalil Bethea apparently broke a pinky toe in practice. Coach Oates announcing that he was hurt, announcing he hurt his foot, and then other reporters revealing that it's a broken pinky toe and expected to be back for SEC play.
That's such a weird injury. I've not done it myself, but
that hurts my heart because I'll be honest with you, Mason. I've snuck into Coleman Coliseum before some football availabilities, and they've just been shooting around and playing around and just, nothing really official, but the basketball team's out there. They're playing. And Jalil Bethea looked like, he's going to be awesome.
I mean, very highly touted recruit, had a bit of a tough year at Miami. I think everybody on that Miami team had a tough year. Disappointing to see that, he's not going to miss a good chunk of this season. And, when he does get back, it'll be right in the hardest part of the year. So it's going to be even more difficult for him to ramp up and like get back to playing, his normal game. But yeah, hey, like you said, we got that spot. The Auburn players got 30 days to transfer. I think if you want any of them bad enough, you'll make it work academically. You'll make it work with the eligibility things. That's not really a concern for me. And also, like, a lot of the narrative is what a move by Bruce Pearl to like what a snake, what an evil. I think it's a bit naive to think that Auburn did not know this was happening. I think Auburn knew this was happening and they were okay with it. Now, if that's a smart decision for them to be okay with it,
right?
I do not know.
Well, you didn't give him a chance to not be okay with it, because if you'd have retired in,
well, I think he probably
April,
informed
May.
them of this a while ago, and they said, "Okay, that's fine. We'll roll with Steven. That's cool. We trust you." That's the way that I don't believe that
you didn't even give him a chance to do a coaching search.
I think that was agreed upon. I really do.
Good.
Yeah, I think that Auburn agreed to that.
How about this resume? Stephen Pearl, player for Tennessee, basically walk-on level player for Tennessee, 2007
because
to 2011. Right, exactly. Then does other things.
Medical sales assistant.
Right, that's right. Then gets hired on at Auburn as an assistant in 2017. Elevated to associate head coach in 2023. For the last 3 years, he's been doing that, and now he is the head coach.
He's been the defense guy, which, hey, Auburn's had good defense.
Yeah, started as strength and conditioning coach, then director of basketball ops from 2015 to 17. Now on court assistant in 2017, associate head coach in 2023, and now he is the head coach for the Auburn Tigers.
We'll see.
Bruce Pearl walked into practice and said, "Wait, where's Janai? No Janai? I'm done. No Janai Broom. I'm done."
Giving him a 5-year contract is a decision. That's an interesting choice. And that's all I'll say about that.
Bruce Pearl's final Iron Bowl is ended by Mark Sears' floater.
Final home game in Neville Arena.
Stretch my
Beautiful.
hand.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a large portion of me that saw this and immediately was on the what a joke. This is a farce. This is hilarious. This man he does not deserve this job. He is going to run this program into the ground. But there's just like that weird nagging part in the back of my head that's like, maybe if it works, maybe it works. Maybe it's going to work. And then I'm going to look real dumb if it works. I just think there's no way it does, though. I think there's just no way it does. The man, I think if he had been a legitimate head coaching candidate, he would have been hired by this point. He's been an assistant since 2017, or he would have taken a job. You're not going to sit here and tell me that he chose to be an assistant over being a head coach somewhere.
He's skipping because
he knew one day my daddy's going to retire and hand me the reins.
Right. He's skipping. Look at the Oates assistants that have taken head coaching jobs. And this is not to be disrespectful, but he's skipping the Kennesaw State, the Georgia Southern, the Arkansas State, Brian Hodgson, and now at USF, one of the UCF.
Yeah.
He's skipping the low level job. He's skipping the low level job and just jumping right to high major basketball. And people are, oh, what a career! You start your head coaching career at a Blue Blood, and you get
John Shire. You
get a lot of John Shire.
It's worked with him.
Comparisons here.
He also sat under the greatest basketball coach of all time.
Yeah, in the modern era, for sure. Wooden is probably number one, but more modern, definitely Coach K. I just think I wonder how it's going to work out for the Auburn Tigers, because I think that step of, I'm coaching at Kennesaw State, Antoine Petway, and I got to work the transfer portal and develop relationships and raise money, and
I think you learn a lot of very important lessons at that level of college basketball.
Yes,
coach.
And basically you're. I have to win the conference tournament to get into the big dance. And you got to these experiences shape and mold you. I mean, Coach Oates, you're at Buffalo.
Bruce Pearl started at a smaller school. I mean, he was
Wisconsin Whitewater, Wisconsin.
I know it was the Big Sky Conference. I think I remember
Green Bay, Wisconsin, something like that. Yeah.
Before he, moved on to bigger and better things, obviously. But that is just an important step in the development of a head coach.
So
very rarely does it work out super well when a guy just jumps from being an assistant to coaching a very high level football team or basketball team or, any coaching. You don't see it that often work out.
So as soon as the announcement was made, I quote tweeted it, basically slamming Bruce Pearl because, you're just going to jump to running for office. You see how unqualified Tommy Tuberville is and you're going to go for it. And of course, like an hour, 2 hours later, it was announced that he's not going to be running for office, that he's going to be staying with Auburn as basically an ambassador to the AD or associate AD or something like that. He's going to be making a lot of money to do fundraising, per se, and to hold Stephen's hand, more or less. Which, whatever. Obviously, I was wrong on that, but you're seeing a lot of Auburn faithful in my mentions at Joe Gaither 6. That's not what he said he's going to do. That's not. And it's like, guys, lighten up. We'll see in a couple of years if he does go to Senate or not. But I am leaving it up, just because I was being snarky.
Yeah, I believe it when I see it. I think I'm not going to get into any of the politics. I don't care about the politics whatsoever. To be honest with you, that's not really what this show's for. I think just objectively speaking, you can look at the path that Tommy Tuberville took, and if you're Bruce Pearl, seems like a pretty easy path that you could do yourself.
And just slap that big old R by your name, and you'll be good.
Yeah. I think it's very likely that we see him do that. We will see, though. I don't know. Again,
he's got to hold Stephen's hand for a year or two.
I think that maybe that's what it is. He has to make sure that, or at least try to make sure that Stephen is not a complete failure.
He's got to stay in contact with all the recruits that he's been recruiting. That, hey, nothing's changed. It's still the Auburn family.
How quickly into the Stephen Pearl tenure does he pop the shirt off?
Stephen?
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be be early.
After a big,
you've seen the video of him standing on the bar a few years ago after Auburn won the SEC tournament or SEC regular season title. I can't remember which one, but he's popping champagne, spraying it in people's faces. That's what you're.
Stephen's been a
head coach.
Stephen's been pretty wild on the social media machines before. So
now, I've only seen screenshots of some.
There's been a
colored
couple
tweets, some colorful tweets,
right?
I mean, I don't know if they're actually real or not, but they sure do. They sure look real, and you can't find them now, obviously, because if they were real, they've been deleted long since they've been screenshotted. But interesting nonetheless. If you want to find some things out, all you got to do is name search Stephen Pearl on Twitter. I'm sure you'll see it.
So good luck to the Auburn Tigers. We'll
5 years. You got 5 years of it.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Do we know what they're paying him yet?
Probably as much, whatever they were paying Daddy. No, I'm surely not. I'm surely not. Surely not.
Maybe a 5-year deal worth the total of one of Bruce's years.
You got to prove it first.
Sure.
Got to get to a Final Four. Blue blood Auburn.
It's taken Nate Oates half the time to accomplish basically what Bruce Pearl did in his entire career.
What do we see? 7-5.
I think that's what it was.
Nate Oates is 7-5 against Bruce Pearl, and Alabama was 12-11 against Bruce Pearl in total. So
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Great. Good job.
You got your one Final Four. Nate Oates got his.
They got two.
Oh yeah, oh they did. Yeah,
they got their second this past year.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot about this past year.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's all right.
Bama will be back
after Jalil Bethea gets healed up. After Tahad Pettiford transfers from Auburn to Alabama, you'll have the all Auburn backcourt over here in Alabama with Pettiford, Holloway, and LeBaron Philon. Philon. All right, so let's move forward because we've still got a lot of time until basketball season comes. We want to talk about this Alabama and Georgia matchup here because, it's a big one. But first, before we do, I want to let everybody know we are brought to you by Derek Daniel State Farm Insurance. We're live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. You can call Derek for all of your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. Call and see how much money he can save you today. We want to encourage you to do that. Find us on McFarland Boulevard, just off Highway 69, past the Tiger Rock, past the Rustic Rehab on the left. You can call and see how much Derek can save you today. Before we do that, though, Mason, we want to before we go to Alabama, Georgia, I do have a voicemail. It's saving real quick. I think I have two voicemails from Hunter Brantley. So we want to get Hunter Brantley's in right here. Let's see what Hunter has to say.
What's going on, Joe and Theo? I'm just watching Sunday Night Football, and I've come to the realization that the New York Giants might be the most awful team in the NFL this season. I mean, they are terrible. They are absolutely pathetic. Just had to throw that out there, Theo. I don't want to hear anything more about the Giants making the playoffs for the rest of the year. But that's not why I called. It's game week, Alabama versus Georgia, and I will say I was impressed with Georgia's win against Tennessee. Not only winning in Knoxville, But the fact that they got down 21-7 in the first quarter and they came back and won, very impressive, showed a lot of resiliency. And that leads to the question, if Alabama on Saturday gets down 14-0, 21-7, just like Georgia did on the road, will they get off the mat and punch back like the Bulldogs, or will they just lay down and crumble? You know, we've seen this multiple times on the road. We got down against Florida State 24-7. Didn't really show that much resiliency. Same thing against Michigan in the bowl game, Oklahoma on the road. I'm seeing a common theme here. Will Alabama get off the mat and fight back, or will they just roll over and lay down? I want to know y'all's thoughts on this, and I want to hear what y'all have to say. Personally, I think that we could be in for a bloodbath if we get down early against Georgia. But that's just me. I want to hear what y'all think.
We'll play the second one, and then we'll get to that. Because I think he called just after Bruce Pearl retired.
Holy crap! Bruce Pearl's retiring! This is awesome. My day has been made. This is the best day of my life. And we got Georgia this week. I love this. Now he can either run for, Senate, he can run for president if he wants to, or hell, he can be the first ever ambassador to Israel. I really don't care. Good career, Bruce Pearl. I will not miss you at all. Roll Tide.
There we go. That's Hunter on the voicemail machine. And you can call on the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800. I will earmark this for Theo just for the New York Giants comment. They're 0-3.
Has he watched the Tennessee Titans? Like, come on. I've watched all three of the Giants games, and I've watched all three of the Titans games. Those two teams are not playing the same sport.
Giants lost to the Commanders, lost
Giants are at
to
least feisty.
the Cowboys, and lost to the Chiefs.
The Giants are at least like somewhat feisty. You had a really close game against the Cowboys. You should have won it, basically. The Titans have not been in a game this year. I mean, just come on. We're going to see the first 0-17 team this year, and it will not be in New York.
No, y'all are going to win a game. You're going to win.
Yeah, they'll win one. They'll win one, I'm sure.
Right. So let's take his question about Alabama and Georgia. If Georgia gets up on Alabama 21-7, 14-0, basically gets a 2-score lead, will the Crimson Tide get off of the mat and fight back? Will not win, but will they at least, look, what was it last year? 28-0?
Yeah.
28-0
in the first half.
Good mercy.
And they scored right before they went into halftime, didn't they?
Yes, yeah. I think it was. So let me just double check.
Maybe
Alabama, Georgia, 2024. It was obviously final score 41-34, but Alabama was up 30-7 at halftime. 30-7 at halftime. It was a 21-0 first quarter, and just absolutely jumped all over them. And Georgia fought all the way back.
I mean, even if you look at that game, though, like you just said, it, 21-0 first quarter, then you kicked 3 straight field goals for Alabama. Like that game, Georgia started to turn that tide even earlier than at halftime.
Right. It was 28-0. Then Georgia scored their first touchdown to make it 28-7, and dug back into Alabama gets a safety to make it 30-7. They go into halftime right there at 30-7.
Oh, okay.
So Georgia was fighting all the way back, and they fought back to take the lead. So, we know Georgia's competitive character, but I think I think Hunter is absolutely right to make the point that Alabama, if they have been jumped on over the last handful of road games, it's not gone so well. Not been a whole lot of fight back. It's been a lot of, we'll try.
I mean, as bad as you played against Florida State, you did still get that to within a 1-score game, and you had the chance to even maybe take the lead on that. If I'm remembering it correctly, at least the one drive that
you had a chance to tie it.
You had a chance to tie it. If you go for 2, obviously you can get the lead there.
My confidence level is not high.
I think it depends on how that lead happens too. I think if it's 2 methodical drives where Georgia just punches you in the face over and over and over and over, and they run 18 minutes off the clock total or something, yeah, I think you're screwed. But if it's like 2 quick strikes, hey, we hit Zach Branch for 2 40-yard bombs, and we've been on the offense has been on the field for maybe 2 minutes, I think you're okay still. But I think it's those demoralizing, just we're more physical than you drives that will hurt Alabama and put them in a bad spot. I think they can recover from a chunk play, from an explosive, as they call it. But it's going to be those long, methodical, nagging drives that would be the sword in Alabama here, probably.
And honestly, that's the way that Georgia's going to play.
Yeah.
They're going to play. We'll throw 3 swing passes on a drive, all of them going for 8 yards. So 3 times 8 is 24. 24 yards on screen passes. We'll hand the ball off for 5 times on a drive for 3.5 yards a carry. So basically 4. 5 times 4 is 20. So there's like, you're just going to stack up yards in these 5 yards of play. We'll end up in a 3rd and 3, and Gunnar Stockton will pull it on a quarterback read and get himself 6 yards. Like, it's just going to be like Georgia hasn't had any big plays down the field this year. You've had a couple of long passes to in the Austin P game. You kind of got down the field a little bit. You had a couple a long pass or 2 in the Marshall game, but even in that Tennessee game, was there a long pass? I'm trying to think. No, I mean Zachariah Branch. He said he clarified that yesterday. He said I prefer Zachariah.
Fair enough.
It was a screen. It was just a screen, so it wasn't really like Gunnar Stockton is throwing the ball down the field. It was a screen pass. Tennessee player takes a bad angle. Branch pops through the hole and just boom goes for 40 yards. Like this is how and Georgia's comfortable playing this way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty concerned about Alabama's defense against Georgia's offense, and so yes, like this is a. We were talking about it on Friday at the football game that all of us were at. We were at Hillcrest and Hewitt-Trussville. For Alabama, if you win the toss, I know conventional wisdom says defer so we can have the ball in the second half.
Go score.
Yes. Pick, receive, play with the ball in the first drive, and say, Ty Simpson,
give me your 12 best plays, buddy.
You gotta have. We're getting up 7-0. Period.
Yeah.
We're getting at minimum. We're getting to the 20-yard line, and you're kicking a field goal to get up 3-0 to like say, okay, we're
here to play.
Exactly. Like you got to get on the. I'm very, very, very concerned about Alabama's defense going up against Georgia's offense, and I think that if the scenario that Hunter describes, they get up 2 scores, they get up 10 points even, and you've got to start matching and start digging in. And you're looking at the defense like, hey, guys, need to stop here, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Need to stop here. I think that the game will stack up on Alabama in that fashion.
I think it could. I still think it's going to be a close game. I don't think that Georgia is running away with this game. I think Alabama's offense matches up pretty well with Georgia.
Yes.
I think Alabama might not necessarily be able to go blow for blow, but I think can definitely keep it within reach if the defense can just get some key stops, and give the offense a chance to maybe go take a lead. My confidence level is higher than yours. It's still not high. I would not call it high, but it is. I don't know. Alabama does not have the luxury of playing this game with the same attitude they've taken into other high-level matchups.
No.
You have to play this game like you're Vanderbilt coming into Tuscaloosa last year.
Yes.
Or your Vanderbilt playing Alabama last year.
You got to find some desperation.
Yes, you have to be that underdog. You have to be that team that's like, hey, we got to sell out to win this game.
The lines moved from 4 to 2.5, so people are betting on Alabama, but the number doesn't matter.
Yeah,
the number like if you're Alabama, I think that the way you give your defense an edge. We're sitting here. I'm concerned about Alabama's defense, which I am. But I think you can give Alabama's defense an edge by playing from ahead because you get up 7-0 and you start mixing the cover. Like Tennessee, they were playing man 90% of the game, and it's like, well, it's 4th and 6. They're in man coverage. I'll drop the slot fade, and like that was a baller. That was a ball and throw. Like that was a really.
He knew exactly where he needed to go with it before the play was even. Before the ball was even.
He lines up and it's cover 1, and Landon Humphreys slot fade and delivered a great pass, and Humphreys caught a great, made a great reception. Great play for them.
But how's it going to look when he has to do that as he's dropping back?
Confuse him. So you play from 7 you play ahead 7-0, 3-0, and you make Gunner feel a little like, okay, I gotta make a play.
Mm-hmm.
And then you change the picture on him, you mix up the coverage on him. Like, I don't think Alabama's pass rush will be as effective as Tennessee's pass rush. I think your secondary is better than Tennessee. I think your inside linebacker play is just meh. So you're gonna have to control the edges with Quay Rusog. I think Quay's a good player. And I think LT's good in run support, but will you have good fill behind those guys? That's a huge question to me. I was watching, or I was paying attention vaguely to Wisconsin this weekend, and my girlfriend was like, why are you paying attention to that game? We already beat them. We already took care of them. And I'm like, yes, it's because I want to contextualize what Alabama did the last 2 weeks against ULM and Wisconsin.
Should have put 50 on Wisconsin.
Yes. All the questions from week 1 remain. None of them are answered to me. And they're like, whoa, you shut out ULM, and you gave up 92 rushing yards to both ULM and Wisconsin. And you look at them up in the NCAA, rushing per game or whatever. ULM's at 30 or so, at 20. So they've had a good rushing offense per se. Wisconsin's in the hundreds. And it's like, what's Georgia going to do? Georgia's in the 20s in rushing and running the football. I still have zero I hate to say this. Because I like all those young men. And I think those young men are trying hard. And honestly, crimson colored glasses, I'm pulling for those young men in the building at Malmore to be successful. But I am still highly questioning, I don't want to say the manhood, but the toughness of them. The manhood is way too far. But I'm questioning the toughness of, will you stand up in the running game? Will you refuse to get shoved down the field? And I'm questioning their ability to play gap sound football. We talked to Kane Womack yesterday about the run fits, and he said, it's getting better. But he said we still have things to answer for from the first couple of weeks. I don't think any of those questions have been answered against ULM and Wisconsin. And so I'm highly concerned about the defense against Georgia. You look at the Georgia running backs, and they're all very talented. Everybody's looking at Nate Frazier, but the McCray kid from Illinois is really, really talented as well. And the Phillips fella is super fast. And then, let's mix in just enough quarterback run to keep you honest and keep you on your toes. I think you have to play from ahead.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think you got to be aggressive on defense. You've got to switch it up, like you said. You've got to confuse Gunnar Stockton. I would like to see them get aggressive. Maybe send some guys on some blitzes. Really, put some pressure on Gunnar, because I don't trust the defensive line to do it. Maybe send a safety in there. You put Bray Hubbard on a beeline right to the quarterback early in that game, and you let him just go lay Gunnar Stockton out if he gets a free path. That's those kinds of things send messages. Those set the tones for the game. Gunnar Stockton's going to be a little worried about the next time he drops back. Oh, is there somebody coming to blow my ball? Blow me off my feet from the backside of the play. I want to see the Alabama defense do some of that in this game. Like you said, play like you're ahead. Don't play safe. You don't have the luxury of playing safe in this game.
My whole family's Georgia fans. Well, most of my family's Georgia fans, and my dad after the first week said, I think I see a little Stetson Bennett and Gunnar Stockton. And like you do, you see, I'm going to put the ball, I'm going to keep it in safe places. Now, Tennessee had a couple of chances for interceptions where it hit a defender in the hands or in the face, and they didn't actually catch the ball.
You got to capitalize on those.
Yes.
You have to.
Right. That's where I think that, if you can confuse him, maybe he'll put the ball in a dangerous spot. I don't really think, no matter how hard you hit him, is going to deter him. Now, if you hit him hard enough to where he's injured, and I'm not pulling for that,
no, obviously.
but if you keep hitting him, I think he's going to be, wipe the blood from his mouth and say, give me more, kind of a player. Yeah. But those hits could help you confuse him, could help you, shoot, I'm about to get hit, let me get rid of the ball.
I think, just anything to speed up his process and make him think more than he has been through the first 3 weeks of the season is going to help you defensively for Alabama. Because we talked about it, I don't know what show it was last week, but he is still learning. He is learning how to play that position every week. There are things he does not know about it that he probably will know by the end of the season. But if you can get in there and disrupt him while he's trying to learn, that's going to help you a lot.
I'm still pretty out on Alabama winning this game. Obviously, we're going to be hearing from the players later today. We heard from Kane Womack, from Ryan Grubb, and from Kalen DeBoer yesterday. Mike, not only just the matchup on the field, but Alabama 2-6 in the last handful of road games. What are we doing? What are we doing differently to either fire them up? Now, if you heard Jeremy Bernard,
I did like this.
Jeremy was on the next round yesterday. They're contractually, they've got a little thing where they do it weekly on Mondays. And Jeremy basically said after the Florida State game, he he and others went to Coach DeBoer and said, "You got to start yelling at some guys. You got to start cussing at some guys, and not cussing at some guys, but like you got to start
sentiment.
right.
You got to be a little bit of a hardo."
And I guess Coach DeBoer has embraced some of that from Jeremy, not from me, but Jeremy says, yeah, he's been yelling at guys, and people have been, oh, yeah, okay, I guess I got to.
It's just, I mean, we brought this up, I think, at some point over the summer too. Like, that's just something I think you kind of have to do when you coach kids, where a lot of them are from this area of the country. A lot of them have grown up being coached by people like that their entire lives. Like, it might be okay to be a nicer guy with a little bit of a softer demeanor when you're coaching in Washington and you're recruiting kids from the West Coast and you're recruiting linemen from Idaho and things like that, not kids from, Atlanta, not kids from Baton Rouge. Kids down here just need need that hard figure. I think they just need somebody to be hard on them. They thrive off of it.
I do. I need somebody.
I do too. I always loved it when a coach was much harder on you.
I've got a listener who I love dearly who, whenever I'll complain about X or Y or Z, come on, that's not the way it is. A little toughen you up, a little get you going, a little dig in and fight a little bit. And while we're not playing football, I still need a little bit of the come on, man, harden up a little bit, harden up and get smart and be tough.
Now I will believe this when I see it from Kalen DeBoer, though.
We saw some in the last 2 weeks.
I'm not taking anything from these games and putting it on paper.
Neither am I. Like, he yells at I
don't even remember who it was.
Right, there was a huge return. It was a huge return or a huge touchdown or long
was
play.
It off that return? Was it off the return that Wisconsin won? Didn't they have a big return?
Wisconsin did, but it wasn't off the screen, was it? Was it off the Ryan Williams screen? I
can't remember now, but
Alabama
scores a little bit of fire, whatever.
Right, Alabama scores, and somebody on the sideline gets a penalty because they're not behind the white line, and a referee runs into them and trips them. And Coach DeBoer, gets after them.
But let me see that against Georgia.
Why
didn't I see that against Florida State
on the first play? On the first play.
Yeah,
like you talk about starting fast, and he's been talking about we got to start fast. Well, you got to start coaching fast, right off the bat.
I mean, you yank a kid off of that kickoff, and you say, the moment he gets to the sideline,
yes, take every play seriously.
Yeah,
and so
I would like to. I hope that like Gunnar Stockton, like Kalen DeBoer is still kind of learning. This is his. Washington is a high-level Power 5, but this is his first really high-level job.
Yeah, your first blue blood job.
Yeah, he is still learning how to, operate and things. So I think we can.
It'd be different if Stephen Pearl coached at Mississippi State instead of Auburn.
Sure.
He's coaching on a blue blood.
Maybe be optimistic that as he sits in this job for longer and longer, it will only harden his heart, and he will just become more of a stone figure out there, more of a, I don't even authority figure to these kids.
Did you see what he said about Jeremy and the black hoodies?
I saw something about it.
Jeremy apparently texted him like, you've seen the graphic where it's like Kalen DeBoer 9-1 in the black hoodie, wherever the record is in other. And he said Jeremy said he texted it to Coach DeBoer, and Coach DeBoer replied, "Well, I guess I got to do what I got to do," and he's going to.
It works.
Right, we
got to get him a different material hoodie though. Those like dry fit, super thin ones, I ain't cutting it.
You want him in cotton?
Yes, I want to see him sweating.
Just sweat.
That would be perfect. That's a football guy.
Is his forehead
breathability?
That's right. Put the hoodie up, Coach, like Coach Belichick.
Headset over the hood. That's what we need.
I'd be a headset under the hood person. Run the line down the headset underneath the hoodie.
Yeah, I need to see him. I hate those dry fit hoodies. They don't look good on anybody.
I don't even own one.
Exactly. They don't look good on people. Even people who are like jacked, they don't look good on. It's not a good garment. That material should be reserved for t-shirts.
All right, let's finish up with just a little tidbit here. How much of an impact do you think that Jam Miller and Tim Keenan's return is going to make? Because people are talking like Tim Keenan's about to plug into this defense and everything's going to be fixed.
I expect you're going to get Tim Keenan out there for about 35% of your defensive snaps. And I expect Jam Miller is going to get about 8 carries.
Yep. is he going to take those 8 carries for 65 yards? People are acting like
he will take those 8 carries for about 35 yards.
Right. You're getting a lot of internet folks acting like these two additions, and like they're good additions.
They're good players.
It's a positive thing.
Both coming off of injury.
Right. It's a positive thing to have them back in the lineup. It absolutely is. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not, but I really do not think that Jam's addition is going to unlock the running game. Is it going to help in pass pro? Yes. A lot, because I'm sorry.
Now, that is something I'd not considered.
Richard Young,
none of them look great in pass pro.
No. Richard and Daniel Hill.
They all just look lost out there.
And passive.
They don't know who to pick, and like they just kind of put one hand on a guy. And
Richard got blown up on the only sack that Wisconsin had 2 weeks ago. He got blown up by a linebacker.
Yeah, it just looks like they don't like know what's coming. It's like, hey, buddy, get ready. There are people sprinting at you full speed.
Yeah. So like you'll help in pass pro, but like you still heard from Ryan Grubb yesterday. Yeah, we're gonna rotate the offensive line. So, and I don't know if that's him playing games with Georgia.
I'm hoping that that's what that is.
I think that there's a little sentiment of that. And he was out there. His like.
And I mean, look, it's not like the game's tomorrow, folks. Still a couple days of practice too.
Yeah,
he might have just been talking about practice.
Katie, Mike Rodike asked about that, and he said, "Oh, we like keeping them fresh." Now we talked about that last week is it about keeping them fresh or about finding the best 5? And he ended up basically, "Oh, we like keeping it fresh." But Katie, we talked after the press conference, Katie Wyndham and I, and she was like, "I don't know if I like that answer. I don't know," and I hope I'm not revealing her. And I said, "I wonder if that answer is just for us." Is just for the media folks, instead of saying, well, yeah, we only got 2 linemen that we can count on, and the other 6 we don't know.
I mean, yeah, I guess
you don't want to dog them out in front of everybody.
If you look at it, it's kind of like the when a reporter asks a player, like, do you think you have a chance to win this week? It's like, what do you expect him to say? Of course he's going to say yes, no matter who he's playing. Right. It's kind of the same type thing almost, where it's like, what else is Ryan Grubb to say there? Oh, we don't trust our offensive linemen? No, he's just going to give you the vague, yeah, we're rotating guys.
It's good to keep them fresh.
So that makes sense.
It's good to keep them energized, high energy on the sidelines.
I do not wish to see offensive line rotation in the Georgia game.
No.
I want to see 5 linemen start, and I want to see those same 5 linemen finish.
Okay. The only amendment I'll make is if you make a rotation, keep it.
Yeah.
We'll start with 5, sure. and if
Wilkins sucks, and Michael Carroll you're in, and you're in to stay.
Exactly. You're in to drown or sink or swim.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Because we can live. I think you can live with that. Like you can live with at least knowing that guy's not the guy. We're figuring out what we have here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it. I'm not going to be happy that he's probably potentially going to get blown up by someone much more experienced than him, but I can live with having an answer.
Leave. No disrespect to Gino, but put him right there on the sidelines next to Coach DeBoer. Oh, so-and-so's helmet popped off. Oh, so-and-so stubbed his toe.
Got an ankle or something. Yeah.
Right.
Whatever.
And nope, you're in there. So Jaden Roberts, I'm not at practice, so I don't know. But if it were me putting this offensive line out, I'm going Proctor, Dewberry, Brailsford, Roberts, Carroll, and saying, you fellas better figure it out.
That's what I like in my head right now. Until Michael Carroll plays and maybe changes my opinion,
right.
Unfortunately. We'll see.
Now, he's a tough son of a gun.
Look, he's a great player, I think. I think he has the potential to be a really great player. I am just concerned being a freshman.
Yeah, so we'll see what Tim Keenan and what Jam Miller end up doing for these Alabama football team.
And we didn't even really get into the nitty. Like Tim Keenan, it's the same. He's not going to be. If you're expecting Tim Keenan to have 2 sacks in this game, you're crazy. It's just. The times he is in the game, sure, he'll help. He'll draw some attention away and maybe give some other guys opportunities to get to the quarterback a little more effectively. But he's just not going to be able to go that much, folks. He is not going to play 100% of the snaps in this game. At least I don't see it happening.
I don't see it either.
I think coming off of that injury, especially with a big guy like him, you're going to have him on a limit, and you're going to strategically use him in the places where you need him the most. And I think that's probably going to be 30, 35 snaps across the game.
Down. 3rd and 3. He's going to clog up the middle and force Gunnar Stockton to pull the ball.
And LT Overton out of his shoes.
Yeah. But he's going to it's going to be, that's a pull because the middle's getting all blown up. And the inside linebackers scraping over the top are just going to
Justin Jefferson's going to get washed out.
Whiff.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I'm at a firm.
I'm still at a 2.
I think I'm at a firm. It's toss up. I think I'm at a toss up.
I'm still at a 2 on
I
Alabama's
think it can go
chances
either
to
way.
win.
I think it can go either way. I feel good enough about Alabama's chances
Maybe that's
to maybe
exaggerating.
confuse Gunnar Stockton that he's going to get into some hairy situations.
Maybe that's dramatic. I'm probably
I
at a
think-
3.
I think the combination of him being a new quarterback still and then potentially playing, what we all hope to be a well-coached defense, the jury's still out on that, folks. I feel good that maybe they can get some opportunities for some turnovers and make some things happen. I do think the offense matches up well. I'm a little concerned about the offensive line, but on the outside, you're great. I think tight end, you're good. If you can just give the running backs a sliver of space, Kevin Riley will take that space, and he's a good running back.
We're gonna RPO Georgia to death.
That'd be good.
It's just
That'd be
gonna
fine.
be reading the linebacker. Are you stopping the run? Boop, pass it right on out.
That'd be fine.
Tight end
happen.
screen. Ryan Williams on the outside. Yeah, I think that the offense will match up fairly well. But did you see Kane Womack's beard yesterday?
I didn't.
Kane Womack rocking a beautiful beard, full beard. Hey, look, if the defense plays well, coach,
Keep it.
if the defense plays well, you ain't shaving the rest of the year.
No.
You can trim it up nice because it looks nice yesterday. Obviously, you or your wife or your barber shaped it up very nicely, but it looks ready to go. If the defense plays well, coach, you got to keep it.
I've been getting recognized too much around town beard, and I'm sick of it. People are trash talking me when I try to go get lunch.
You might be right. You might be right. All right, let's get out of here for the day. We appreciate everybody who's watching us on the Bama Central YouTube channel, Facebook page, on my own social media machines at Joe Gaither 6. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon. Go call Derek Daniel for all your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. You can call us on the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800. We're going to be back tomorrow with more Alabama Georgia content. We're going to go spend the rest of our morning in the Malmore Athletic Facility talking to the stars of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Maybe we'll get a little Ty Simpson. I would love to hear from Ty Simpson today. You'll be able to see all those player interviews on the Bama Central YouTube channel. We encourage you to subscribe to the Bama Central YouTube channel. You won't miss a thing. I know my man Will Miller was at a baseball press conference yesterday. It's the best way to stay locked in to Alabama athletics right there on the Bama Central YouTube channel. Tell a friend about the program, and we'll be back tomorrow on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com.
Thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Keep up with Joe on all his social media pages at Joe Gaither 6. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and be sure to read us daily at BamaCentral.com.